evening and thanks for tuning in. I'm Jenna Budell with the WJTS News. A Jasper man is dead after being struck by a semi. Tuesday afternoon, 46-year-old Charles Copeland of Evansville was driving a Freightliner semi-truck on Interstate 64 near the 55-mile marker in Spencer County. Meanwhile, 67-year-old Gerald Klemper of Jasper parked his car on the shoulder of the interstate and walked into lanes of traffic. As Copeland merged his semi into the passing lane of the road, he struck Klemper. Klemper was pronounced dead at the scene. The incident is still being investigated. Another person involved in a kidnapping hoax has been sentenced. 45-year-old Joshua Thomas of Princeton pleaded guilty to false informing after he helped fake the kidnapping of 23-year-old Hannah Potts of Princeton. Thomas and 34-year-old Maria Hopper of Princeton helped plan and execute a fake abduction of Potts back in July of 2020. Potts says it was a research experiment for a novel she was writing. Potts was charged with false informing. Thomas was sentenced to 270 days of probation. Hopper pleaded guilty back in October of 2020 and was sentenced to probation and 80 hours of community service. A hearing is set to take place March 8th. A Jasper man was arrested on OWI charges Tuesday. Around 2:15 Tuesday afternoon, Jasper police officers were called to 13th and Newton Streets regarding a man asleep at the wheel. The man's vehicle was in the roadway blocking traffic. When officers arrived, they found that vehicle's driver, 33-year-old Dustin Kirby, was intoxicated. Kirby was taken into custody and lodged into the DuBois County Security Center on charges of OWI endangerment, a Class A misdemeanor. The COVID-19 positivity rate continues to drop in DuBois County. The Indiana State Department of Health reported 15 newly confirmed cases and no additional deaths on Wednesday. This brings the countywide total of COVID-19 cases to 5,703 and 82 deaths since the pandemic began in March. The county's 7-day rolling average for all positive tests is 6.5%. To see a breakdown of the county's COVID-19 cases by age group and for more information, visit coronavirus.in.gov. The Indiana State Department of Health reported 1,480 new cases of COVID-19 and 36 additional deaths on Wednesday. The Hoosier State has now recorded 631,331 positive cases and 9,713 deaths since the onset of the pandemic in March. The numbers for our viewing area are as follows. Starting off in DuBois County with 5,703 cases and 82 deaths. Pike County, 1,234 cases, 26 deaths. Spencer reporting 2,034 cases, 26 deaths. Perry with 1,651 cases, 33 deaths. Martin County, 773 cases with 13 deaths. Davies reporting 2,774 cases with 76 deaths. Orange, 1,673 cases, 37 deaths. Knox County, 3,444 cases, 39 deaths. Crawford, 850 cases, 9 deaths. Posey, 2,486 cases, 28 deaths. Lawrence, 4,036 cases, 84 deaths. Gibson County, 3,889 cases, 60 deaths. Warwick reporting 7,060 cases, 105 deaths. And Vanderburgh with 20,294 cases, 264 deaths. To see a map of cases by county, head to coronavirus.in.gov. A bill authored by State Senator Mark Messmer was unanimously passed by the Senate. Senate Bill 177 would permit the immediate family of a deceased individual to request a new investigation by the Indiana State Police into the cause of death of their relative. The ISP would not be required to open a new investigation, but would be obligated to review the request. Messmer authored this legislation after meeting with the family of Christy Kelly, a constituent of Senate District 48 who went missing and was later found deceased weeks later, having been submerged inside her car in a pond. Local law enforcement ruled Kelly's death an accident, but her family had many questions, including why her car was in park and what caused the extensive damage to her vehicle before entering the water. This legislation specifies that the families must meet reasonable suspicion standards by providing relevant facts and instances drawn from those facts in order to request the reopening of an investigation. Senate Bill 177 will now move to the House of Representatives for consideration. Another local event has been forced to cancel because of the pandemic. Memorial Hospital and Healthcare Center decided to cancel the 2021 Women of the Heartland Education event due to the COVID-19 restrictions currently in place. However, free lab screening will still be offered to the first 250 people who register. Lab screenings are an important tool for healthcare providers to assess health issues. Even though a person may feel well, a regular lab screening can catch diseases early in order to maintain optimal health. To receive a certificate for a free lab screening, go online to mhhcc.org and click on Patients and Visitors. Then go to the Women of the Heartland or call Memorial Hospital at 812-996-2352. Indiana Bureau of Motor Vehicle branches are closing for a few hours this week. All branches will be closed from 8:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. on Thursday, February 4th for staff to participate in planned programming. The program is intended to foster a diverse, highly skilled, and professional workforce. All branches will resume regularly scheduled business hours on Thursday, February 4th at 10:30 a.m. For a complete list of branch locations and hours, to complete an online transaction, or to find a 24-hour BMV Connect kiosk near you, visit in.gov/BMV. The city of Evansville wants to use $250,000 in coronavirus relief money to expand its public Wi-Fi options. City leaders on Tuesday announced plans to apply for a state grant to add new Wi-Fi locations. Kelly Kors with the city says adding Wi-Fi in some of the city's community centers would help connect people who may not have a reliable, high-speed internet connection at home. Now stay tuned. Weather and sports are still to come on WJTS News.